Welcome to this week's Give Voice to Your Vision. We have a very special and beloved guest who comes and drops into our show every year or so that I'm very excited to share with you. Derek Rydall is here, and he is, I'm going to introduce you to him real quick if you haven't met him already. And we're going to talk about abundance and wealth and prosperity and how to unlock what's already within you to create the amazing life, business, impact, whatever you're called to create in the world. And Derek is an amazing teacher and speaker. So I'm very excited to share him with you. Welcome, Derek. He says hi. Hi.
I guess you start off singing, and I just want to start singing.
I do.
A musical. I'm creating a musical called Awakened Wealth.
We have to talk.
The Abundance.
Abundance. I have so much to say about that. I have so much to say. I'm so excited. I too am creating a songbook companion to the work and a show that goes with it. So music, expression, our business is expression. So we'll have to talk. I'm going to tell these lovely folks who you are in case they don't know. Derek is a global thought leader, transformational coach, author of Emergence, The Abundance Project, and creator of Shadow Dancing, speaking of abundance, with 3 decades of experience blending spiritual psychology, creative mastery, and cutting-edge personal development. Derek has coached Oscar and Emmy winners, top entrepreneurs, thought leaders around the world, and is the founder of the Whole New Human movement, helping individuals unlock the true super intelligence that can create a world that works for all. We have so much to talk about.
We have like 6 hours to talk about.
We'll be here for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No, we're going to keep it really focused today. I see we still have my banners up. We're talking about 5 common abundance blind spots and how to break free from them. We're going to talk about 7 gifts that give you everything and the true source of abundance and how to unlock what's already within you. Where shall we begin?
Well, I do think, there's a couple of things, not caveats, but sort of context to set the stage for why this is so. It's always important to be able to manifest and generate abundance and to fund your vision and to be able to allow this energy and this life force to build, to be a master of that energy of wealth, abundance in any area. It's not just about money, although everybody wants a little more of that for sure.
It's always
but
fun.
It's about the substance of everything, and that whatever it is that appears to be missing, how do you come out of the victim state where you feel like you're at the effect of the world, of other people, whether it's relationships, jobs, family, economy, government, and realize that you're not ever at the effect, you're at cause. In fact, one quick little side fun thing, in The Wizard of Oz, the whole theme of that story is Dorothy goes from feeling like a victim of circumstances, and all the characters represent victims who have to remember they have that gift within them. And when she goes out, like, I have the courage, I have the strength, I have the wisdom, I've always had the power and the magic to go home. That's the whole message. And there's a song she sings, we're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Because, don't be effect, don't be recognize. And when everybody is discovering, I'm at cause, I'm the source, I have the capacity to create and to generate everything I need from within out, no matter what the condition is. And this is the great metaphysical and mystical message of all masters, is no matter what the world looks like, no matter what side of the tracks you were born, no matter the size of your bank account or the shape of your body or your genetics or your economy or anything, when you understand this one master principle, first and foremost, that you are cause, that you are the source, you stop leaning on the resources and learn how to lean on and live from the source within you. That's the beginning of the whole ball game. And so that's really at the foundation of everything that I'm sharing today and everything I teach, from the emergence, the law of emergence, to the version or the expression of that called the awakened wealth principle or the abundance principle. And then one other thing I want to add as a context, and we'll get into this, is it's never been more urgent, ladies and gentlemen, to understand that you are at cause, that you are source, and to like all these things that used to be kind of the thing you go to Essalon and do a retreat or read a book on wealth or purpose and have a fun weekend. There's no more time anymore for that being extracurricular.
Yeah.
If you want to give voice to your vision and you want to live a life of sustainable success and fulfillment and meaning, there's never been a more important time, because we're in the fourth turning and the transformation going on because of AI and technology. That's the nature of my next book, A Whole New Human. It's going to radically disrupt, replace, eliminate a vast majority of the jobs, the opportunities, and all of that. But there's one thing it won't be able to replace, and that is you being you and who you really are when you tap into the real source of your vision, of your genius, of your purpose, and of your prosperity and power. And that's really at the root. And I'm really, it's like I'm like a prophet these days, shouting in the wind. You know, I need to have like long, scraggly hair. But that whatever else you think is important, getting back to the power and that you really have, that you're the source of everything you want to create, and mastering that, it's number one priority, because that's going to be the thing that's going to allow you to lay the foundation for long-term success and thriving and meaning for you and your loved ones, and for the difference you're here to make, because everybody's going to be struggling otherwise. So I'm really glad that we're talking about this today.
Me too. And you're spot on, of course. It's so important. And you're also speaking to the reality that there are things that, you know, we can control what we put our attention on. We can control our own expansion. When we can connect to that unique and trust into that, that's something that we can utilize and leverage, and transforming ourselves, having that prosperity, having that connection to source, having that confidence in speaking up with the truth of who we are and living into it to transform ourselves is the most powerful thing we can do to transform everything else.
Exactly.
Right?
Everything. The whole thing begins and ends with know yourself, be yourself. Know who you really are, what you're made of and made for, and that you brought with you the whole trust account, the whole divine inheritance,
the code,
what I call the life code, the perfect pattern of inexhaustible power, purpose, and prosperity, and the perfect mechanics for its fulfillment. All of that is already embedded in you. That seed was planted in your soul before you were planted in your mother's womb, and the world didn't give it to you, and the world can never take it away.
Yeah.
The key is understanding you've already got everything. This is not airy-fairy new age mumbo jumbo. This is the good news, the gospel, the teaching all the great teachers have taught. And it's the secret of everything in nature. Every seed already contains the pattern and the mechanics for its complete flowering and flourishing. It's the whole oak tree is there where the acorn is in the quantum field, just like you were mentioning. When we put our attention on something, we collapse the superposition and infinite possibilities into an actual probability. And that whole pattern, our destiny of greatness, our voice fully expressed in our vision, our full, abundant, and fulfilled and meaningful and impactful life is already here now. Just like one other example, your favorite music is playing right now. You can't hear it. You have to know which station, i.e. frequency it's on. And then you have to tune into that frequency, i.e. come into energetic alignment with that frequency. So you become that frequency when you tune the radio, and that music that is already playing but is inaudible, that station becomes manifest. In other words, you have a manifestation. Right?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And you're speaking my language. So my approach is called the frequency factor. And we're talking about what are we broadcasting, but also what are we receiving, right? So tuning in and connecting to that unlimited potential in the now is the work. So how the hell do we do that? Let's get a little bit practical.
So there's a couple of things, and we're sort of laying the foundation, because again, most of the times, if people start from what do I do, they're often trying to do from a place of not having, and they end up creating a lot of do-do.
Do. if you do too much.
You do, right? As it says in the Bible, it says to he, it would have said she also, but to he who has, more will be given, but to he who has not, even what he has will be taken away.
Yes.
And so what it's saying is, so that's why I'm setting the context. First, the urgency, because without urgency, our human tendency is to just keep doing what is familiar or comfortable or convenient, or at least not too scary. But in order to have what we really want and be who we really are, we have to have enough energy and urgency to escape gravity and create momentum, right? So all the growth happens on the other side of comfort and convenience. So that's why
just outside the edges of your comfort zone is where the magic is. And
exactly.
You're speaking to the human patterning, just to interrupt real quick,
exactly.
is not only people are also scared and reactive right now, the heightened, elevated, that's a habit and a pattern and what we're used to as well. So speak to that if you want. Or
so I'm not trying to scare you, but to prepare you, but to create a sense of urgency. Like when the mother's child gets trapped under the car, there's such urgency that a 90-pound woman can lift a 3,000-pound car. So it activates the potential. And we grew evolutionarily not by comfort and convenience. Just like if you work out and you can do 10 reps, all the growth happens in the reps you can't do yet, the 11th rep and beyond. And so when we have a context of urgency based on just telling the truth, and also based on a deep and profound reason why, it makes an evolutionary demand on us, and it activates our potential. So that's the first context. The second context I wanted to establish is, if you just go out and try to get or make stuff happen from a belief, from a hypnotic spell that you don't have it and that it's not happening, to he who has not, even that which he has will be taken away. So you will do all these right things from the wrong mindset, from the wrong frequency. And you will end up manifesting more of not having, more to he who has not, even that which he has taken away. So from a have not standpoint, or it's not working yet, or I'm not good enough yet, you do all these things, your prayer, your affirmation, your activation is, I don't have, I can't do, it's not enough, I'm not enough yet, but someday I will when I attract, achieve, or make happen. Now what you're doing is you're magnifying the obstacle, you're magnifying the sense of challenge and the distance between you and your good. So I just want to set that first stage.
Beautiful.
You're not on your way to wealth or health or love or happiness, and you are coming from it. The sunbeam is not on its way to the sun. The branch is not on its way to the tree. The wave is not on its way to the ocean. Life is emergent. So all of it is here. The acorn isn't on its way to an oak tree. It's not going out there looking for oak trees, trying to attract an oak tree, going, let me figure all the oak tree parts and put them together and make an oak tree happen. A gardener doesn't make a plant happen. It makes it welcome. It creates the conditions that are coherent and congruent with the pattern already in the seed. And when the conditions are in alignment with what you are, then who you are emerges. Then you come from inspiration and love and abundance and guidance and all those things. You come from it and it emerges. So even though we'll be talking about things you need to do, it's very, very important. This is the one part about the law of attraction and visualization that is true, is you use those tools to come in alignment with and activate the visionary vibration.
That's right.
Right. The singing and the dancing and the movement is activating a vibration. The seeing and the feeling it's not making anything happen because it's already happening, right? The music is already happening. It's tuning you into the station where your beat of abundance is playing, where your symphony of success is playing. It's not making music happen. It's making the conditions that make it welcome, and it aligns with it. And again, just as that inaudible song becomes a manifestation, that invisible wealth and health and love and joy that is already happening becomes manifest. But you cannot manifest what does not already exist. So what already is here in the field, it manifests. So it's very important we do understand this so that we can catch ourselves when we're trying to do and make and get, and we wonder why we're feeling more stressed out, more burned out, more overwhelmed, more anxious. And even if we get a better paycheck or a better job, because of where we're coming from, we end up broke at a higher income bracket, right? We end up in a new job
down the road,
right? We end up with the same boss in a different uniform. We end up with the same low-level clients, but just new faces. We end up with the same partner, a different partner, but the same arguments. Yeah. So it's about where you're coming from. So the wealth is in you. It's invisible, it's intangible, but it's real. And the first thing is you have to be very much anchored in and wanting more than anything to know, what am I really made of and made for? What is that seed pattern that is speaking to me? And you can see that based on your desire, which means of the Father, of the Creator, or of that stars. What is that burning desire, that song that wants to come out, that life I really, 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 really want, not just the life I think I should or could. So that's the step one, to get in
touching on the real work, right? Like the real focused attention that we can apply. So
yes. So the first step is know thyself.
Yeah.
And that's why it's the first principle of self-help from the Oracle of Delphi is know yourself. And then understand that it's all within you. And there's certain examples I can give you and stories I can tell, but the next step is we have to ask, well, how can I get it out of me? If it's all in me, how do I start getting it out of me, right? And we'll talk about some of these ideas, the 7 wealth activators or 7 abundance activators, in terms of their 7 core channels that you can begin to practice that will start to activate and open up the channels of your abundance and turn on the inner wealth and abundance creating machine. Because again, the key of the emergence principle is, because you already have everything, whatever's missing is by definition what you're not getting. Whatever's missing is what you're not circulating. So the law of circulation is that you have to have a circuit and you have to be circulating. And so, for example, if you breathe in but you stop, you die. If you breathe out all day and that's it, you die. So you have to circulate. Every system in your body and in the world, including wealth, is based on circulation. In the Great Depression, people didn't go broke and starve because there wasn't a lack of wealth. There was actually too much food and too much abundance, so they had to burn the food and turn over the crops and throw it in the ocean. What broke was circulation. People stopped investing in themselves, in their vision, in each other. The momentum or velocity of money stopped to a complete halt. There was no more circulation. When you have a heart attack, and a person has a heart, not you, when a person has a heart attack, they don't have a heart attack because there's not enough blood in their body. They have a heart attack because it stops circulating. And so it's not because there's not enough oxygen that you stop, that you can't get enough breath or don't breathe. It's because you're not breathing and circulating the oxygen. So just understand, you have it all, and the secret is mastering the law of circulation, finding a way to open out a way, as the poet Robert Browning said, to release the imprisoned splendor. Most of you are still waiting. You're waiting to feel good. You're waiting to not be afraid. You're waiting to be more confident. You're waiting to be certain. You're waiting for somebody to validate and approve of you. You're waiting for it to be easy. You're waiting for it to not be hard. You're waiting for your spouse to approve of you, or your kids or your parents. You're waiting. You have gained too much weight. And so this is a program, right? It's time to lose all the weight and open out a way to begin starting that circulation, investing in yourself, investing in the vision, letting the energy go to the highest vision, not down to the lowest fear and comfort zone. And so we can talk more about that, but it's very important. I'll show you some of the ways you can very specifically and practically start circulating. But again, just to reframe real quick, the key is you've already got it. It's invisible, the substance of all of life. When the Big Bang happened, there was nothing. And out of nothing or no thing, everything became created. Well, that same principle, out of no thingness, nothingness, out of now, here, nowhere, everything emerges. So again, it doesn't matter how much is in your bank account or the shape of your body or your business. When you stop judging by appearances and judge righteous judgment, which means to remember, to affirm, and to live as and from the truth. I am, I have, I am the way and the path and the answer and the salvation that I've been looking for. I've got it all. I just have to start acting like it, and acting like it consistently, not up to the point where I get scared and it gets hard and it's not working.
Or it didn't work. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the point where you double down, right? Where you dig deeper roots, which brings about taller shoots and richer fruits. Is you don't stop. You get anchored in your vision. You identify your voice. You remember, I already have the blueprint and the pattern and the mechanics for fulfillment. You create some kind of real plan that allows you to consistently do and express from the vision, from the inheritance, and do it even and especially when it's hard and boring and you're scared and nobody believes in you and it's not working. Because all of that comes up and says, it's hard, I'm scared, I'm not good enough, it's never going to work. All that really is the weeds that are in the flower bed. It's the unconscious patterns and shadows. And so as you're doing and being and expanding and expressing, everything unlike that, everything that no longer serves that, will come up. Don't be fooled. Just keep planting. Just keep sowing. Just keep investing. Just keep going. And again, we'll get to specifics, but I want you really quickly to get the whole kind of gestalt of it. And this is not theoretical. I've helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people to go.
This is the work.
This is the work. Mm-hmm. But it's the labor of love, because you're giving birth to yourself again and again.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I am a dream of creation. I am divine manifest. I am wholehearted elation. A grain of sand just like the rest. I'm a sound part of the whole. Yes, you're singing my song. I love it.
Yes.
Let's be sure that we touch base on we're going to help people to have some resources to tune into their source with us. I want to be sure that we cover some of the opportunities that you have and get to hear your sharing and expertise on some of the things that we promised to talk about. We've already done so much. Thank you. And it's so important that we have the context and the urgency. And you've really just laid this beautiful stage. So maybe
that's the most important thing, because I'm going to give you guys a whole 21-day experience and package of breaking down the 5 hypnotic spells and the 7 wealth activators.
Fantastic.
And I'm going to train you and coach you and walk you through this process. So the most important thing is you get that.
Yes.
I want this can work, and why it's so important now, and why it'll matter to you, because we're going to give you all of these tools.
Right. So we're going to give you access to these tools. It's a 21-day activation journey. It's super powerful. I've done it more than once. So we're going to give you some of these resources. So Derek, so we don't have to worry about that. We've touched already on what I wanted to invite people to come and listen to be with you on. You've touched on the 7 gifts that give you everything. Is there anything in particular that you want to articulate now, or shall we keep going on our conversation in terms of what's next and how people can continue to find this source?
Yeah, I mean, you tell me. We can certainly let them know right now what we're going to give them, and then we come back. I do think it's important. Let me just say again, and we'll see where it goes. But it's really important that This is not a get rich quick thing.
No.
You can't get rich. You can't get what you've already got.
Yeah.
This is a protocol and a process and a proven path to activating and unlocking and unleashing what is already in you, with the divine inheritance, the trust, and also to master the process of manifesting from this place where no matter what situation you're in, you can and you will know you can be able to create and generate everything you need, with abundance of love, of support, of inspiration, of creativity, and of money. And because money and wealth is not dollar bills or cryptocurrency, stocks or bonds, it's energy. Money and all these outer things are symbols. They're symbolic expressions of what is real. This is why the old saying says the love of money is the root of all evil. Some people think it's money is the root of all evil, but it's the love of money. What it's really saying is the love of the symbols of wealth is the root of all evil, because money has always been a symbol. It was chickens at one time. You would trade chickens. You wouldn't say the love of chickens is the root of all evil. Well, maybe some chicken love.
Depends on where you live. We've got a lot of urban farmers.
What you're doing with those chickens. But it's really telling you, and this is the great ancient teaching, whenever we put our power, our safety, our security outside of us, in anyone, princes and principalities, stocks, bonds, crypto, gold, or dollar bills, we are putting our power in an external symbol. And now we are imprisoned by those beliefs and conditions that we think we have to be or can't be in order to keep getting more of those symbols. And then we also hold on to and hoard our symbols, and we don't want to let go or lose them, because we think that our wealth and our health and our love and our good is material and is matter. And that's the big hypnotic spell I'm going to help you break. One of the many myths about money and wealth that I'm going to bust for you, because we're all hypnotized. Yep. There's specific ways we're hypnotized around wealth, money, and success. And I'm going to bust all of those. And we're going to be like, I'm going to count backwards from 3 to 1 and step out of it. So we're going to do that. You've already
started, man. You've already started. Laying the foundation.
I also say that this is so not theoretical. Not only have I helped thousands of people and coached millionaires and billionaires and media moguls, because everybody wants to go to the next level. But personally, I've been completely broke, days from eviction, and that's actually when this principle emerged, and I mastered it. And within 3 days, I made more money in 2 days than I ever made in a year. And then cut to a year later, and I built a 6-figure business, fallen in love, and it just kept going. But also, in the midst of recessions, in the midst of COVID, in the midst of tragedy, the tragic loss of my child, divorce, life-threatening diseases, challenges, money being stolen, fortunes, all the challenges you can imagine, and maybe some you shouldn't. In applying these principles, I've been able to not just get by or survive, but to again grow my roots deeper into my true nature and my true potential, to become more creative, more inspired, more heart-opening, more spiritually activated, more loving, more generous, and more successful. Yeah. So I've become actually a better person, not a broken person. And I've become more trusting of life and more empowered rather than protective and shrinking. And that's one of the wealth spells I'll say, and then we'll move on, is one of the biggest hypnotic spells is that we have to adapt to our circumstances. And that basically means you have to shrink to fit whatever box you're in. And the truth is exactly the opposite. Because if you adapt on the other side, you'll be smaller. Your channels will be smaller. Your circulation will be less. This is what created a Great Depression, is everybody adjusted and adapted down, and they stagnated the whole system. So when you instead, the awakened wealth truth is you must learn to expand in the face of contraction or constriction or any limited condition. And when you learn how to do that, and I'm going to show you, this is not pie in the sky. It's doable and practical. When you learn how to have a habit of expanding when things contract, on the other side of any contraction, challenge, tragedy, recessions, economy, or just somebody not liking you, or just your Starbucks running out of your special latte, whatever the contraction is, when you build that habit, even there in Starbucks, you will expand. And you
I
will
love it. Yeah, you're on my favorite topic, expansion. I think that I would love to hear you. There's expansion and contraction in the creative process, making your living as an actor. You're only as good as your next job, and you like expanding into that, and then it's over. And what do you do? There's expansion and contraction in a launch or an offer. There's expansion and contraction in a relationship, in everything. And I'd love to hear you talk more about that. That expansion. I'm all about running wild into the fog, right? So that expansion as a habit, as a practice, if you will, and it helps.
And maybe before we do that, let's just let people know, in case they're wondering. I know you have the link, but just again, so you guys know what you're going to get in this package, this free package.
Great.
And that is, you are going to get my entire deep dive 5 hypnotic wealth spells book, manual, and deep dive training. So I'm going to walk you through and identify what are these subconscious money lies or wealth or abundance lies or hypnotic spells that keep you stuck, and understand why a lot of the things you've been doing to try to make things happen aren't helping, because you're doing it within this hypnotic spell, right? If you hypnotize to believe there's a snake there, and you're going to be running around doing things to kill the snake or get rid of the snake, but it's really just a rope, there never was a snake. So you can't solve a problem you've been hypnotized into believing.
Right.
So this is going to show you how to break those spells. You're going to get the training, the manual. Then I'm going to show you the 7 wealth activators. You're going to get that book and that deep dive training. So you're going to unlock those 7 soul-aligned strategies to open up the flow of abundance and tap into that hidden source of wealth that's within you and all around you, we've been talking about, and begin to master the law of circulation that we also were talking about, as well as eliminate the burnout and the overwhelm that comes from pushing and struggling and trying to get and attract. Let go of all that and learn how to open out and start circulating and generating. Then you're going to get the Charge What You're Worth blueprint, which there's a shocking study I'm going to reveal to you that will show you exactly why you or anybody earns what they do and not a penny more, and how to turn everyone and in the entire world into a channel for your wealth and abundance, an abundance of love, an abundance of opportunity, abundance of support, how to ask for what you really want and actually get it. Who here wants that, right?
Yeah, so you have to let yourself ask, right?
Yeah, you're gonna get all of that, and yeah, you're gonna have to get off your flabby ask and have a really solid, strong ask.
It was a big shift for me, because I was like practicing gratitude to a fault, right? Like I was grateful. I'm just grateful to have enough to get by. I'm just grateful for enough to take care of my kids. I'm just grateful for enough. My debt grew, my income shrank, and I had to start to ask for more. And it can be, we are hypnotized into not having needs. The core programming in me is I will need nothing. I have no needs. I have no wants. So it is a real, these spells are real, and they weave into all of our psyches.
And the key is to ask, not from a place of lack.
Yeah.
When Jesus said, ask and you shall receive, knock and the door shall open, seek and you shall find, he wasn't speaking about ask because you don't have, or knock because you're lost, or he's talking about there's the process to open out your channels, to start circulating all of your abundance, right? But you're a field of abundance. It's not just coming through your body. You're a field, and that field includes the whole world. And so now to open up the channels of, nobody is your source, but everybody is your channel. You are the source. So your source is here, but the channels are everywhere. And so now you're not going and asking because you're trying to get something that is theirs. You're going and asking is the magic open sesame to open their channel so that the abundance that is in the field that you've activated can flow through them, as well as flow through you. And it not only opens up and allows them to be a channel of your good, whoever is meant to be, but by allowing them to be a channel of your abundance, it expands their channel. And now they become a bigger channel of circulation. And all transactional relationship gets turned into transformational and exponential relationship. It's not a zero-sum game anymore. It's an infinite sum game. So that's what you're going to learn there. Just there.
Just that little bit. Just that little bit.
That's one of many things.
Yeah. So this is the work. This is so, I'm going to just touch back into the urgency of having the, thank you for bringing forward these gifts and sharing them, opening them up to people, humanity right now. And this is the work, and having some of these ideas may feel big, or, you know, hearing them again and again. I've had the pleasure of knowing you and following you for maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6, 10 years. I don't know how long it's been. But every time I can feel the God bumps, the goosebumps, right? When we're talking and when we're tuning into what feels true and what feels real, and you're willing to trust that in yourself, and you know, you can find that knowing. And these resources, Derek, that you're sharing, we're getting early access here. We're going to make sure we come back and post a link so everybody can get signed up for early access, and then they'll get everything that you've just shared so beautifully about. They're so.
I walk you, even though we're hitting big, high-level concepts, because we're trying to create, you know, put a lot, 25 years of research and work and practice into 25 minutes. I want you guys to know I do walk you practically step by step in the videos, in the book, so don't worry.
Yeah, and with this kind of work, there is an energetic frequency. There's an energetic transmission. So having, whether it's on video or whether it's in this live stream or whether you're watching the replay or whether you're learning from these resources and training and the guidebook, there's a frequency that is broadcast. And when we're talking about this big expansion and some ideas that aren't, you know, what everybody else is saying, but when you go through this training and these resources, you're also getting the transmission, you're getting the download, you're getting the energetic understanding that can happen. So letting them wash over you again and again is really powerful. So you don't have to figure out everything that's happening with your head. You can feel into it. You can open your heart into it and really let it wash over you, because the universe is so powerful. It can help you to assimilate and integrate.
Let me say one other thing about that, because that's a really important point, obviously. And there's a saying, again, where 2 or more are gathered in agreement, there I am in the midst of them, which is a saying in quantum physics. It's a saying, when Jesus said, if I'm lifted up, I draw all into him, he's not speaking about him as a man, he's talking about quantum entanglement, which is in this field, as you might be feeling right now, but especially as there's thousands and thousands of you gathering and opening up to these ideas. And I'm also doing quantum healing every day during this journey. I'm stirring the field and activating it. There is an exponential and quantum leap potential because of all the individuals focusing on these universal principles and ideas. And as one individual starts to pop and has an insight or an aha, you're now all quantumly entangled, and it lifts the whole field up. That's why if you've ever gone and meditated in a group or sitting in a church together, you find you can get still quicker. You find you can go deeper, faster. It's the field.
Or a rock concert or an amazing performance or a play.
It's the positive version of mob mentality. Right? It's love. It's a love mob. It's a spirit mob. It's an abundance mob. And so in this frequency, you're going to lift up faster. You're going to activate faster. And so, the work works on you even before you work on the work.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So these resources are going to be available. Derek, do you have any kind of closing thoughts, ideas, anything you want to leave us with as we, again, I'll make sure that this link is under wherever you're watching. If you're live streaming or you come back and catch the replay on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, we'll make sure that you have access to that. They're about to be released. You're getting early access here. Is there anything else that you want people to know about now, to know about what's possible for them, to know how they can tune in to that frequency before we wrap up today?
Well, I would say that, yeah, I mean, I would watch this again, this, because there's an activation of frequency even in this conversation,
Yeah.
and begin to get to practice even the simple things. What am I really made of and made for? What do I really, really want? Not just what do I think I can get or think I can have. And understand that life does not support an acorn that's trying to be an apple tree, because it thinks that that's the only way it's going to succeed. Life will only support that which is created by life, that which is embedded in your soul. So have the courage to know what you really want, the great vision and powerful voice that you were born with and born for. And I promise you, there are no extras in this divine play. You're all stars of your show.
Yes.
And you don't have to be a prop anymore. You have to be willing first to go behind the scene, SEEN, and to discover what is your real role, what you really want to be and play, and what lights you up. And
admitting it to yourself, letting it flourish, letting it emerge.
Tell the truth first to yourself.
Tell the truth.
This is who I really am. This is how amazing I am. And even though it's scary, and then understand that all of the negativity, the doubt, the worry, the fear, all the stuff that might come up and then it might appear as actual obstacles in the world, all that is a symbolic expression of a universal, impersonal belief that you didn't create, that is not your fault, that doesn't belong to you. And guess what? It's not even actually a part of you at all. It's a hypnotic spell about separation, lack of limitation, and your ego is doing its best, but it thinks it's protecting you by keeping you in that map of reality. So when that comes up, just in the next few days, begin to practice as you set the stage, set your intention, and get ready to step out into the spotlight of your life. As you do that and stuff comes up, well, what about this? And how am I going to just begin to write all that down and start to write out the old play you've been starring in, the old story, so you can make it explicit and it can't unconsciously grab you. And we're going to work with this, but know that that is no longer your story, and that was never the truth about you. It has not damaged you. You are not broken. You are not lacking. It is not your fault. And get ready, because all that you were made to be here, you still got. And the time is right now. I know that they say the best time to plant a tree is 60 years ago. The best time is today. And when you do that, no matter what needs to move, when you come in alignment with that seed of truth in you, you will flourish and flower and fulfill your greatest potential. That's my promise. I've seen it happen for 25 years. I've seen it happen through every obstacle. You can overcome everything, and you can become everything that you were made for. I guarantee it. If you let me support you, we'll go on this adventure together.
Yeah, go on this adventure with Derek. You know, we've been, you're talking too about the self-expression and what is that express to press out. We have this resistance that we have sometimes to press through, and you know, your calling won't quit, your dream will keep knocking. You know, this called feeling can be our compass or our conundrum. And so we're doing this work with you over the next few weeks. Will help you to really find your own practice, belief, steady your belief, be in that quantum lift, to step into that calling, that real thing that you want, that big thing that you're never too old, it's never too late, and there's always all. If
you want to be sure, just look, you know, lift up your hair and look in a mirror and see, as long as it doesn't say use by, you're good. And when the call comes, don't let it go to voicemail where the universe gets the message mailbox full. Answer the call.
Yeah, you got to have the courage, the connection, the support, the clarity to step into that. Yeah, beautiful. I adore talking to you. Could talk forever. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing these resources with us. You guys, I'm going to come back and make sure you have access to those right after we wrap our call today. If you're here watching live, let us know you're here. Say hey. Let us know you're jumping in with Derek on this experience of awakened wealth and all that it entails. And if you're catching the replay, let us know that you're here on that replay too. As ever, you know where to find me if I can be of support to you in getting access to anything. Derek, again, I'm excited excited to go on the ride with you again over the coming weeks. Thanks again for being here. And we'll see you next time on the Give Voice to Your Vision.
Give voice to your vision.
We'll do the musical version. That's coming. We'll have a battle of the musicals.
For sure. I love it.
All right, everyone. Thanks. Have a great week.